Trump faces a primary campaign filled with court dates. The candidate to win the Republican nomination is leading in the polls and has wasted no time lashing out at his opponents at various rallies across the country. Former U.S. President Donald Trump at a rally in Erie, Pennsylvania on Saturday. Lindsay Daddario, Reuters. Until the first Tuesday in November 2024, when he hopes to be re-elected President of the United States, Donald Trump has a calendar with dates marked doubly in red ahead of him. On the one hand, he's facing 3 civil and 2 criminal trials, and this figure could rise if a new indictment is confirmed in Washington over election interference in 2020 and 2021, including the assault on the Capitol, together with a likely announcement of charges in Georgia, also for trying to subvert the election results. On the other hand, there are all the main dates for the primaries, where according to the polls he has a wide lead over his Republican rivals, exceeding 50% support in many of them. The latest twist in a script right out of Hollywood came on Thursday, when a superseding indictment added 3 new charges in the Mar-a-Lago papers case, for attempting to destroy security camera footage and for obstruction of justice. In addition to Trump and his aide Walt Nauta, who has already pleaded not guilty, the new indictment included a third defendant, Carlos de Oliveira, the property manager at Mar-a-Lago. De Oliveira, who started working as a valet 2 decades ago and was promoted to manager in 2022, is scheduled to appear in court on Monday in Florida to hear the charges. If the start dates of the criminal trials remain unchanged, March 25th for the Stormy Daniels case, involving the payment of hush money to silence an extramarital affair, and May 20th for the Mar-a-Lago case, Trump could secure the Republican Party's presidential nomination before voters know whether he has been convicted of any of the charges, 37 in the first case and 40 in the second, after adding the newest charges. But his criminal ordeal could still become more tangled if special counsel Jack Smith indicts him for 2020 election interference that led to the January 6, 2021 storming of the Capitol, and if the Fulton County District Attorney, Fani Willis, announces charges for tampering with the results of the 2020 presidential election in that state. That potential indictment could take place on September 1st or even earlier. Trump's first criminal trial, for falsifying business records to conceal the payment of hush money to porn actress Stormy Daniels in exchange for her silence, is scheduled for March 25, 2024, less than 3 weeks after Super Tuesday, when more than a dozen states will vote in the primaries. In Florida, Judge Aileen Cannon, who was appointed by Trump and enjoys his sympathies, has set the date for the start of the second criminal trial, for the Mar-a-Lago papers, at May 20, 2024, when most of the primaries will be over and the final stretch of the campaign will be getting underway. Until Election Day, Trump will also face 3 civil trials, the first of which is scheduled for October 2nd, for alleged civil fraud in a case that is being investigated by the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, and which involves the tycoon, the Trump Organization, and his eldest sons. On January 15, 2024, the same day as the Iowa caucuses, the start of the primaries, Trump will be tried in a second defamation trial after the writer E. Jean Carroll sued for greater compensation, $10 million, after being disparaged by Trump again on CNN one day after learning that he had been sentenced to pay her $5 million for sexually abusing her in the 1990s and defaming her in 2019, when he was in the White House. 2 weeks later, on January 29, the Republican will face a fresh trial in a federal class action lawsuit that accuses him and his organization of promoting a pyramid scheme with get-rich-quick promises to lure clients while receiving large secret payments from the companies he was promoting. His Trump Organization has already been sentenced to a $1.6 million fine for tax fraud. Defense delay tactics. Trump's defense, on which he has spent $43 million so far this year, maintains that he cannot face trials just before the election and has opted for delay tactics. In the Stormy Daniels case, he unsuccessfully tried to transfer the case from the state court that accused him to a federal court, which he considers more favorable to his interests, but a judge ruled on July 19 against the change of jurisdiction.